Hey friends, it's been a while since I've done one of these videos, but I had something that came up a little while back and I felt the Lord direct me to share it, and I think it will be an encouragement to some that will hear it today. A few weeks ago I had an appointment and I was supposed to meet my husband for lunch after the appointment. As I was getting ready that morning, I had a friend cross my mind that I had not spoken to in months. And I knew from experience that when this happens, a lot of times that person is going through something. They may need something from the Lord. They may be having a situation that they're going through or whatever. I might get a call or a text from them. I might run into them later that day. But I didn't think much about it. I just went on about my business. And so I went to my appointment. And as I was on the way there, I was thinking, well, before I meet my husband for lunch, I'm going to stop by and see this other friend because I never get to see her anymore. And I went about my business, and after that was over, I went over to see my friend. I had not been there 10 minutes when in walks the husband of the other friend that I had on my mind earlier that day. And he proceeds to tell me that they were job hunting and just going through hard times trying to find a job. They had a circumstance come up that they were having to deal with, and his wife was really upset, and she was on the phone with another sister in the Lord, and she was praying with her. So we talked, and he went on to say that they had had a rough Christmas and money had been tight, and they didn't really have the money to buy presents for one another. So in his stocking, she had given him a prayer cloth that I had given her years ago. And it meant so much to him, and he just talked about how it touched his heart, and it brought me to tears just hearing that. But she came in, and I talked with him for a little bit, and I referred him to the temp agency that does a lot of hiring at the place where I work. And we talked a little bit. As we got ready to go, I felt impressed by the Lord to pray with them again, even though she had already been on the phone with a friend, and they had prayed. I just felt the Lord nudging me to pray with them over this situation that they had with the court system. So we circled up and everything and prayed for them. I prayed for God to give them favor as they went in and for him to work out everything. And he did. I got a text later that said that he worked out the situation, and it was really nothing to worry about. But I went ahead and sent them the information about the job. And then the next day when I got to work, I talked to the guy myself in person and told him they were looking for a job and gave him their names and everything. He said, have them to be at the office at noon. So I forwarded the information to her. And long story short, about a week later, they started at work. Well, they've been there a couple of weeks, and she stopped by the office a few days ago and told me that everything was going great, and she was going to be hired full-time most likely, and that her husband was being looked at for a supervisor position. Now, it may not seem much to you all, but to her, I mean, she had tears in her eyes as she was talking to me about it, and it was a miracle for her. And I know that my part in it was small, and I'm not bragging about anything that I did. But just knowing that hearing the voice of God and being where he puts you at a certain time is imperative. Because even though it wasn't that much, that was a divine appointment that the Lord orchestrated. And when you're in the right place at the right time, he can use you to be the hands and feet of Jesus. There's a scripture in Acts that talks about when Saul was on the road to Damascus, and the Lord's talking to him. He says, get up and stand on your feet. I have appeared to you for this purpose, to appoint you to serve as a minister and as a witness, to testify with authority, not only to the things you have seen, but also the things which I will appear unto you. So be on the lookout for those little divine appointments that the Lord places in your path, because a lot of times it's not going to come in the thunder or the wind, but it's going to be that still small voice that just says, go this way. And if you listen to it, he'll be with you. God bless you all today.